Ooh, ooh, the water's clear here. Clear, clear, clear. Oh yeah, baby. That is some clear water. You know, you hear these people say, hey, when it's clear water, you don't want to fish to, on reaction baits, you don't want to fish to get a good look at it because they won't eat it. You got to bring it in super fast, like a spinnerbait. Well, that's the difference between a realism lure and an illusion lure. If you have a bait out there, like a spinnerbait, that really doesn't look like much when you just set it there, and you're creating an illusion of maybe a little ball of bait, you know, burning by. Yeah, I could agree with that to a point. But if you take that in consideration, even when you hear guys, I've heard people recently say on swim baits and everything else, if you have clear water, you want to bring the bait in faster. That is absolutely wrong. If you have a good looking bait and it performs well and it creates the illusion of realism by swimming good, either having a good glide to it, if the bait looks good and acts the way it's supposed to in the water, I don't care if you have 50-foot visibility, keep that bait out there. I mean, you could dead stick it on the surface, you could let it slowly fall down into a certain water column, and you bring it in nice and steady. And watch what the fish do. You'd be surprised on a nice, slow, steady, or even a dead stick retrieve, you can bring fish up out of 30, 40, 50 foot of water to come up and take a look at your bait. And you'll watch them come up and actually bite it. You know, they'll come up and they'll nibble on the tail, they'll suck in a hook. There's so many things that happen with a bait that performs well. And to bring it in quick is absolutely the wrong thing to do, like 90% of the time. Now, I mean, if they're boiling out here and you got fish busting all over the place and you just need to get a bait in there and moving it because you're going to get hit really quick, yeah, that's a whole different situation. But, you know, if you're going down a bank like I am and it's a steep, sheer bank, you know, the fish could be anywhere on the bank out to 30 foot of water, and you're going to throw a swim bait that looks good, that represents a swim bait, and it acts like a swim bait, it looks like a swim bait. Fish it nice and steady, because like I said, unless a fish is chasing something already in real life, that bait right there is not going to just be burning down the bank. It's just going to be cruising nice and steady, and the fish are going to come up right behind it and they're going to suck it in, and either they're going to pummel the crap out of it, or you'll watch them come up and they're just curious. They look at it and they're going to come up and they're going to just nibble at it. And I've had monsters, and we're talking teen fish, we're not talking 1-pounders, we're talking just absolute behemoth, come up and they'll suck in the hook. They'll think that hook is like a fin sitting there, and they're testing that hook. And that's why you have to have the right equipment. You got to be ready, and you got to watch. Oh, like that. That's exactly what you got to be ready, and you got to watch what's going on. Because I was just sitting there, and that thing was just falling real slow, and I came up and I saw the fish. Oh my gosh. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Look at that thing right there. I was just talking about it. Look at this fish right there. Look at this fish, guys. Look at what I'm talking about. Lexus 300 friggin' SPRO BBZ-1 6-inch. Let me get this out of the net. This is you know, for all the guys that are all worried about cast to catch, look at that pyramid fish. Oh my gosh, right there. What a friggin' bruiser. And I watched that fish come up and literally suck in that hook. I was just talking about it, fishing it super slow and catching a tanker. Come on, that Gamakatsu hooks are super strong and super tight. Look at that beast right there on the Lexus. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this reel and why good equipment will put fish like that in the boat. My gosh, so we're testing the new 300 Lexus and the new Zillion, and this thing is just absolutely gorgeous. That is a pig of a pyramid fish right there, guys. Look at that. Okay, so let's let this fish go to be caught another day. Now that was cool. So the biggest thing, like I said, guys, you gotta be able to understand when a bait's working properly. Man, just, you don't have to fish it fast. Let the fish get a good look at it. Fish it in the right areas. I was fishing into a funnel right there. I threw it out, let the slow sink fall real slow. I'm keeping my eye on the bait, you know, and I saw that fish come up from a distance. The water's so clear that I wasn't burning it in. If I would have taken two winds on that handle, I would have been out of that strike zone. So I'm able to throw it back in that pocket. On this one, it was subsurface, letting the bait fall real slow. And the nice thing about the new gear I bought from Daiwa is I'm able, if I'm in position or out of position, if I'm in position where I could sweep that rod into my hand and do a decent hook set, you're all money. If you're sitting there and you're off position and you see a fish come up and hit that or lick it, two really quick winds of the handle, I brought that bait in 6 feet. That means I've loaded that system. That's no different than swinging the rod 6 feet in the air. But the problem is, when you're up here, you got to reel back down to start fighting the fish. And everything you did right there is just, you throw it out the window because you just slacked your line. In this position, that's why I like fishing with the faster reel. I mean, like I said, I'm really happy with this system, this 8-to-1, because I can bring in 3 foot of line per revolution with the 300. With the 400, I think it's like 43 inches per revolution, and I could bring in 3.5 feet. So 2 quick winds is the difference between 6 foot and 7 foot. And oh, there's a fish on it, so I'm gonna let that fall real slow. And I'm watching it. Like I said, I'm in super clear water, and guys are like, oh, you gotta fish the bait super fast and do this. Malarkey, you know. You got a 6-inch out there, they want to take a look at it, let them take a look at it. Just be prepared that if they come up a lot of times like that big fish did right there, they will just suck the hook in. They're not going to eat the whole bait. They're going to just suck it in. And a rod and reel that you could gain a lot of line on and be able to work, you know, performance of your lure in addition to hook a fish. Man, that is what we're talking about right there. Hey guys, I'm up here testing the new Daiwa Lexus 300s, the Zillion rods. Actually, if you look down on the boat, I got a bunch of rods out here and I'm testing all of them. But there's a couple things going on. You got to find the right equipment. You got to find the right equipment that performs, and that's one thing is the lure. And we're just talking about, as I was coming down this bank, people get worked up with clear water and working a bait way too fast. And if you have a bait that performs right and looks right, especially in clear water, you don't have to fish it fast. Let the fish get a good look at it. I threw it out into this pocket right here, and I'm watching the bait as it's fall. I got a slow sink on, BBZ 6-inch, and I actually watched this bass come up, and I was just talking about it. I watched it suck in the back hook. And the position I wasn't in the greatest position for a hook set. That's why these new Lexus 300s, they're bringing in like 37 inches per revolution of line with one handle. So that's 3 foot of line. 2 really good quick winds on the handle, 6 foot of line coming in. I load the system. I just pop that fish right through the nose with the Gamakatsu, and that was a massive fish catch for a northern strain here at Pyramid. So remember that when you're out on the water, keep an open mind. Some of the stuff you hear out there about fishing lures too fast, it's a misconception, and we're going to get into more detail on proper hook sets, why certain equipment works better than the other. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This is just one fish catch on this because it had so much information in a short amount of time. Hope you guys enjoy this. We'll catch you next time out on the water.